Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, how are you today? I hope all of you are fine, and so do I. Guys, before we start the lesson today, as usually, we must pray together. Pray begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina wa bi muhammadin nabiyyan wa rasulah. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma. Amin. Allahumma amin. Guys, according to the syllabus, today we will learn about the neoplasm. Guys, as usually, before we start the lesson today, we must know about the learning objective of this topic. For the first is terminology of cell change, and then apoptosis versus necrosis. I'm sure and I believe all of you are understand about the apoptosis and necrosis because we still discuss this topic at the previous meeting. And then about the neoplasm divided into two types, like benigna and maligna, and tumor classification, and the last is about the tumor grading and staging. In cell biology and pathophysiology, cellular adaptation refers to changes made by a cell in response to adverse or varying environmental changes. The adaptation may be physiological or normal or pathological, abnormal. There are four types of morphological adaptation, include atrophy, hypertrophy, hyperplasia, and metaplasia. On this slide, please look at the picture. This is the picture about the atrophy. What is the atrophy? Actually, atrophy is a decrease in cell size. The condition can happen in physiological, like a thymus will be atrophy in the maturation, and the pathological, like a disuse on the skeletal muscles. For addition, the thymus is a vital organ of the immune system that plays an essential role in thymocyte development and maturation. The thymic atrophy occurs with age, and it is a physiological thymic atrophy, or as a result of the virus, bacterial, parasitic, or fungi infection, and the condition is a pathological thymic atrophy. The second cell change is hypertrophy. Please look at the picture. Hypertrophy is opposite than the atrophy. Hypertrophy is an increase and growth of muscle cells. Hypertrophy refers to an increase in muscular size achieved through exercise. When you work out, if you want to tone or improve muscle definition, lifting weight is the most common way to increase hypertrophy. But on the pathophysiological condition, the example of hypertrophy is happen on the hypertension patient. On the hypertension patient, left ventricular hypertrophy. Left ventricular hypertrophy is a thickening of the wall of the heart's main pumping chamber. This thickening may result in elevating of the pressure within the heart and sometimes poor pumping action. The most common cause is high blood pressure. Next, the third cell change is hyperplasia. Please look at the picture. Hyperplasia is increased cell production in a normal tissue or organ. Hyperplasia may be a sign of abnormal or precancerous changes. This is called a pathological hyperplasia. It can also be due to the growth of abnormal cells. For the example is a bone marrow hyperplasia, a non-neoplastic expansion of one or more of the hematopoietic cells due to the increased number of cells, and it can manifest in a range or morphological appearance depending on the underlying causes. The other example is about the hormonal imbalance in patient's body, like endometrial hyperplasia and or called endometriosis. Endometrial hyperplasia is caused by too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. If there is too little progesterone, so the uterus patient is not triggered to shed its lining menstruation. The lining continues to thickening due to the estrogen. The cells in the lining may grow together and become irregular. Okay, next we will talk about the metaplasia. Please look at the picture, guys. What is metaplasia? Metaplasia is the replacement of one differentiated somatic cell type with another differentiated somatic cell type in the same tissue. Typically, metaplasia is triggered by environmental stimuli which may act in concert with the deleterious effect of microorganisms and inflammation. For the example is response to irritants like smoking. And how about the dysplasia? Please look at the picture, guys. You can see the different shape with the others in dysplasia. So dysplasia is an abnormal changes in cellular shape, size, or organization. Actually, dysplasia is not a cancer, but it may sometimes become cancer. Dysplasia can be mild, moderate, or severe depending on how abnormal the cells look under a microscope and how much of the tissue and organ is affected. So the dysplasia is usually called with the precancers. Guys, after we talk about the cell changes, I little bit remind you about the apoptosis. What is apoptosis? Apoptosis is the programmed death of individual cells, and then the apoptosis usually psychological stimuli and the control process mediated by cellular signals. Apoptosis associated with the no inflammation or secondary tissue damage, integrity of cellular structure retained, and also cell death pathway activated. So it's very normally in apoptosis. In the long term, generally no sequences part of cell cycle, for the example, embryological development. To make your understanding clearly, please look at the picture. This is a normal cell, and then after process for the initiating process of apoptosis, on the inner of the cells condensation of chromatin happen and membrane blebs. But on the apoptosis is usually not inflammation condition. So it's very clean and it's very normally in physiological response. The opposite of the apoptosis is necrosis. What is the necrosis? Do you still remember about that? Alright. Necrosis is the death of body tissue. Necrosis is pathophysiological stimuli by injury, radiation, or chemicals. Necrosis usually happens when too little blood flow to the tissue. If we talk about the necrosis, usually necrosis associated with inflammation and secondary tissue damage. So necrosis have swelling sign and disintegration of cellular structure and also have abnormal pathways. In the long term, necrosis have inflammation and decreasing blood supply result in tissue death, or it's called gangrene. So after that, it is a death of the tissue. For the example, for the illness like a cerebral infarct or myocardial infarct. Okay, now we will talk about the neoplasm. This is the main topic in this meeting. Neoplasma is from neo and plasm. Neo means a new and plasm means a tumor. So neoplasma means new growths. Neoplasma synonym with the tumor or swelling. Originally used for inflammation, but now used a synonym for neoplasm. On the oncology, we study of the tumor. We study also about the cancer. So when we talk about the neoplasma is an abnormal mass of tissue that forms when cells grow and divide more than they should or do not die when they should. So it's very dangerous. But neoplasma can divide it into two types. There are benigna, not cancer, and maligna is a cancer. This is a neoplasm. Neoplasm is an abnormal growth of cell which persists after initiating stimulus has been removed. Cell growth has escaped from normal regulatory mechanism. The neoplasma, like I talked here before, will be divided into two types, benigna and maligna. And cancer is a malignant neoplasm. Tumor usually used to mean a neoplasm, although strictly speaking, tumor means a mass. Mass is a swelling and increase in size, which can be neoplastic or non-neoplastic. Swelling due to inflammation, for the example. So, what is the benigna neoplasm? Benigna neoplasm is cell grow as a compact mass and remain at their site of origin. Benigna tumors are those that stay in their primary location without invading other sites of the body. So, benign neoplasm is not a cancer. And how about the malignant neoplasm? What is a malignant neoplasm? Malignant neoplasm is another term for a cancerous tumors. The term neoplasm refers to an abnormal growth of tissue. The term malignant means the tumor is cancerous and is likely to spread or metastasize beyond its point of origin. How do tumors develop? Actually, when cells grow old or become damaged, they die and new cells take their place. Sometimes this orderly process breaks down, and abnormal or damaged cells grow and multiply when they shouldn't. But the tumors develops have many signs like for the first, there has to be a change to DNA, and then the change must cause an alteration in cell growth and behavior, and also the change must be non-lethal and be passed on to daughter cells. Alteration is to more than one gene, and the gene concerned are oncogenes or tumor suppressor genes. Sequence of genes alteration from normal to benign to malignant. Intrinsic and extrinsic or inheritance and environment is the key factors. You can see at the picture on the right side. You can look at the picture. Normal cells in the left side, and then the normal cell will be developed to the abnormal cells and by lymph vessels, and then after that the abnormal cells will be development to the abnormal cells multiply, and the end of the abnormal cell multiply, the cells will be malignant or invasive cancers. Okay, what is the clonality? Clonality is defined as two tumors deriving from the same progenitor cells that previously underwent malignant changes and gave rise to both of the detected tumors. Alteration in gene regulating growth of and behavior occurs in every cell. It's called monoclonal population, and evidence from studying G6PD. In heterozygote cells contain either G6PD-A or G6PD-B, but tumors in those people consist of cells that all have the same enzyme. So, to make your understanding clearly, please look at the picture in the bottom. In the left side is a normal cells, but in the right side is a cancer. So on the cancer, the people just consist of cells that all have the same enzyme, like AAA only or BBBB only. And you must know about the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency is a genetic disorder that affects red blood cells which carry oxygen from the lungs to tissue throughout the body. So the G6PD is an enzyme. How do neoplastic cells differ from normal cells? Normal cells follow a typical cycle. They grow, divide, and die. But cancer cells, on the other hand, don't follow these cycles. Instead of dying, they multiply and continue to reproduce other abnormal cells. These cells can invade body parts such as a breast, liver, lungs, and pancreas. So, alteration in growth hormone, alteration in growth controls like proliferation, cell death, and also factors regulating growth and response. And then alteration in cellular interaction like a cell-cell and cell stroma. Cancer developmental is affected by growth hormone also. Increased cell proliferation, more cells enter the cell cycles. Cell cycles speed up. Cells have changed lifespan. Alteration in cell death decrease apoptosis. It's the main key on the growth control of the cancer. Modification of cell metabolism happen, and then angiogenesis happens, and also increase or decrease growth factor receptors or altered receptors. Synthesis of growth factors is like an autocrine or paracrine effect. Excess or modified growth control proteins like oncoproteins. Guys, if you want to differentiate about the benign and malignant neoplasm, you can see about the size, growth characteristics, vascularity or necrosis, function, and also invasion or metastasis. This is the table with differences between benign and malignant neoplasm. You can see at the table. After we talk about the cell changes and then about the benign and malignant tumors, so we will conclude about the dysplasia. The dysplasia is a premalignant condition and increased cell growth, also have a cellular atypy, and then altered differentiation, and also can range from mild to severe. For the example, the site is on the cervix, on the bladder, and on the stomach. This is the picture. Normal cells may become cancer cells. For the first, the normal cell, and then after they have abnormal developments, the cells will be hyperplasia, and after hyperplasia, the cells will be development with the dysplasia, and also they change to be a cancer cells. Carcinoma in situ or in situ malignancy refers to cancer in which abnormal cells have not spread beyond where they first formed. The words in situ mean in its original place. These in situ cells are not malignant or cancers. However, they can sometimes become cancer and spread to other nearby locations. Epithelial neoplasm with the features of malignancy have altered cell growth, have cytological atypy, and have altered differentiation, but no invasion through basement membrane. So please look at the picture. This is about the carcinoma in situ in the left side, and the right side is a cancer. When we talk about the type of neoplasm like a benign, we also have a special characteristics like a slow growing. They have a low mitotic rate of division and also often well circumscribed, like no invasion of surrounding limb or tissue and no metastasis to other areas. and also have a resemble cell of origins like rarely necrotic and also rarely ulcerate. Different from the benign type of neoplasia like a malignance have specific characteristic too, like a fast growing. They have a high mitotic rate of division and poorly defined, irregular, and infiltrative borders, like invasion of surrounding limb or tissue, and also can metastasis to others area. Malignant, variable resemblance to cell of origin, so they are commonly necrotic and commonly ulcerate. You can see at the picture, you can see the malignant have a irregular shape and the size is also more bigger than the benign. Tumor classification based on behavior of the tumor, like a benign or malignant presentation, or based on histogenesis origin, like a degree of histological resemblance between cell of origin and tumor cells, and also allow for tumor grading. For the example, cell of origins for tumor, just only 2-4 cells: epithelial, connective tissue, lymphoid, and hematopoietic. On the epithelial, benignous like papilloma or adenoma, but on malignance, it's called carcinoma. In connective tissue, it's suffix oma, and for benigna and maligna is sarcoma. On the lymphoid, benigna is 0, but the malignance is called lymphoma. Hematopoietic on the malignance is called leukemia. Intraepithelial neoplasia. Potentially premalignant dysplasia have a specific characteristic such as abnormal growth and transformation of cells confined to the epithelium or in situ, and also may superficially penetrated accessory organ structures. So if you look at the picture, this is for the first is primary prevention, and then on the middle is a secondary prevention, and the last is the tertiary prevention. Tumor grading and staging. The stage of cancer describes the size of a tumor and how far it has spread from where it originated. The grade describes the appearance of the cancer cells. If you're diagnosed with the cancer, you may have more tests to help determine how far it has progressed. So, tumor grading and staging utilized for malignant tumors only have generally good prognostic value. Staging, used for the histopathological and clinical tumor assessment, measures level of tumor spread throughout the body. For the example is T and M, T for tumor, N for node, and M for metastasis staging. Grading is a histopathological tumor assessment. The grading will be measured degree of histological differentiation. But for the example, Gleason grading just only for prostate cancer. You can look at the table on the right side. This is T and M staging, T for the tumors from Tx until T4, and N for the lymph nodes for the NX until N3 and M for distant metastasis, just only M0 and M1. M0 means no distance metastasis and M1 means distant metastasis. Grading is based on the microscopic features of the cells which compose a tumor and is specific for the tumor type, but the staging is based on clinical, radiological, and surgical criteria such as tumor size, involvement of regional lymph nodes, and presence of metastasis. Staging usually has a prognostic value. Now we talk about the onco and tumor suppressor genes. A proto-oncogene is a normal gene that can become an oncogene due to mutation or increased expression. An oncogene is a gene that drives the neoplastic behavior of cells. A tumor suppressor gene is a gene which inhibits the transformation of a cell into a neoplastic state. Mutation in proto-oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes leads to neoplasia. Mutation in proto-oncogenes leads to excessive cell division or prevent apoptosis from occurring. So the mutation in tumor suppressor genes prevents DNA repairs, leading to mutation, leads to excessive cellular proliferation, or prevents apoptosis from occurring. After we talk about the neoplasm or tumor and also the cancer, we must know about the germline and somatic mutation. Germline mutation is a mutation occurring in gametes. They are passed on to offspring and are present every cells in the offspring. Opposite with germline, there is a somatic mutation. Somatic mutation, acquired mutation occurring in any of the cells of the body except the germ cells. They cannot be passed on to offspring. Population-based screening. Screening, checking apparently healthy people with no symptoms to identify those who may be at increased risk of a disease or condition. Why screen for cancer? Screen for cancer have some benefits like early detection gives a better prognosis, and tumors are found at a curable stage and before they have metastasized. But we have some problem with screenings like a lead time bias, and also early abnormality detected by screening might not have progressed to malignant neoplasm. Adenoma carcinoma sequences. Stepwise progression from benign to malignant neoplasm due to an accumulation of mutation. The mutation occurring in these sequences are well defined in colorectal cancer. You can look at the picture in the bottom. The first normal epithelium, but after APC mutations, especially genes AQ24, the normal epithelium changed to be small adenoma. Small adenoma, on the small adenoma have a mutation again like a KRAS mutation, so small adenoma will be changes to the large adenoma, but also have some mutation like chromosome 17q and 18q deletion on also TP53 mutation, so the large adenoma will be changed to invasive adenocarcinoma. But on the invasive adenocarcinoma have a mutation again like a NM23 genes, so invasive adenocarcinoma will be metastasis. You can look at the picture. The normal colons change to be a mucosa at risk, and then after that change to be adenomas, and after that change to be carcinoma. Why do cancer cause a problem? Is it about the local effect, metastasis, and also paraneoplastic and metabolic effects? Being overweight or having obesity increase your risk of getting cancer. This is a chart for complication of the tumors. You can read by yourself. A complication of tumors will be affected to local effects, metastasis, and metabolic effects. For local effects can be divided into compression, local invasion, and ulceration, also destruction of adjacent structures. On the metastasis, will be affected hematogen spread, lymphatic spread, thoracelamic spread, and implantation. But only the metabolic effects will be affected tumor-specific and non-specific. On the tumor-specific, have specific signs like finger clubbing, or tumor produce a hormone, so the illness will be developed to the casings and etc. And also have a hypertrophic osteoarthropy. But metabolic effects non-specifics have specific signs such as cachexia, lethargy, and malaise. Personalized medicine. Cancer treatments targeted to the genetic of a patient cancer and may enable more effective treatment of cancer in the future. For the example, trastuzumab and imatinib. You must study again about this cancer on the 5 semesters on the palliative nursing. Okay guys, thank you so much for your attention. I think it's enough for today, and please the meeting today with Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. If you have any question for this topic, you can write the question on the chat box for the link of the video. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.